And see me. So, to get started, what if you could wake up and see new appointments on your calendar? What if you didn't have to do cold outreach? What if you didn't have to send a bunch of customized messages on LinkedIn all day long to hopefully get maybe one or two? How about if you had more time to work with your customers and less time to do the sales work? How about if you didn't have to hire somebody for $10,000 to do all this cold outreach for you? Well, we're going to talk about First Contact today, and it's a new CRM platform. It is AI powered and relationship driven. That's what we like to how we like to explain it. It has AI built into every component within the system so that automation can happen no matter where you're at. And one thing that we see when we get automation going, we're going to see larger SMS open rates because people will be prepared for a repeatable kind of process. We also customize messages. So when they're customized or personalized, people tend to open them more. They want to get more information. They want to jump in and see what's going on. So we're seeing higher engagement and sales. If you're in sales or you've done sales, you know it takes 5+ touches, and a touch is every time you talk to a prospective, or send them a message or send them a text message or something. It takes a lot of work to get people to understand your product and want to buy. So some of the big things that are happening here that a lot of small businesses are struggling with is sprawl, tool sprawl. I hear it all the time. It happened to us when Travis and I started our business. We had so many different tools, right? And every day I hear about new ones. Oh, you got to try this new AI tool, try this automation, and try this, right? There's a ton of stuff out there and it's shiny and fun, but expensive. And we forget about these subscriptions we sign up to. And the next thing you know, we get charged $400 because we registered for some AI video generating platform and we forgot about it. So, from our experience, small businesses are using 4 to 7. That's what happened with us. We had Buffer for posting automatically. We had Constant Contact for email. My website was in WordPress hosted with Google. I had a separate scheduling tool that we were paying for, all sorts of stuff. And then I had lead pages. We were paying for all these like lead pages and landing pages. So, and we got rid of all of it. We saved over 600, $700 a month by switching to First Contact. So the other thing that happens here is inefficiencies arise because you cannot see the total customer journey. It's fragmented. So you don't know the impact that you're having with your customers. You don't know how they are seeing you. You don't know the process that they've gone through. And if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Right? So leads will fall through the cracks and there's no clear view of business performance. How do you know if you're meeting your KPIs if you have like 20 different systems and there's only one or two of you to manage the whole thing? So, and we believe that First Contact is a smarter solution for small business. Spend less time worrying about all these little tools and more time worrying about selling and doing your work for your customers. And so we want to streamline everything that we possibly can. And we want to streamline right into using the AI components. There's an AI assistant in there that can book appointments. It's also called Ask AI. Workflow can automatically build your workflows for you, just like on Zapier. You won't need Zapier anymore, by the way. It'll use AI to build everything. Replication or reputation management's critical. That's your online reviews. And Google has a new algorithm. If you're not replying to reviews, thank you for leaving the review. They will see those reviews more as fraudulent and you will actually not rank as higher. So with the reputation management tool within First Contact, it monitors and AI responds to every single review. Content AI can build your blogs. It can build your social posts. You can reschedule the social posts so you're not doing it every day. The unified inbox is huge. I do not use email and I'm not on my phone. I'm not playing with all these other things during the day. I'm only in one tool. I'm only in First Contact and I can do everything right in there. Plus, I can also do all my payments and my invoicing. And so why does it stand out? Well, like we said, we built AI into every single component. The system has been completely customized and templatized based on my own personal experience. And who am I? I probably should have told you. Nick Rusted. I have 25 years in IT. And I started off at the Pillsbury Company on the help desk, and I ended my career working for a large company as a director. And I have seen so many failed CRM deployments, unbelievably huge deployments that all fail. And months go by, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars are spent. And then the customer's left wondering, like, what do we get? When you work with me, you get a business coach, because that's also what I do, and a CRM platform. So I can help you from ideation to implementation. I can help you come up with your business idea, solidify it, work through it, build a plan, and start implementing it right away. It's a program that I have called Eye to Eye, Interest to Income. Within 90 days, I can get you started with an idea for a business to making a profit. Totally possible. And that's one of the huge benefits of using AI because we can streamline so much work. Also, we have simple pricing. We're competing with HubSpot, which has a free plan. So do we. Free forever plan. There will be no charge for it. Up to 2 people, 5,000 contacts forever. Now, there is a charge if you want to use AI. There's usage fees that we would have to pay. So we have you pay those at cost. So to keep it cheap. Okay, so if you want to stop juggling, in fact, I think this is the actor. Who is that? That's the actor from one of the X-Men movies. It looks like that guy that was the blue. He was like the blue lion or something, or animal. I can't. Travis, you probably remember who that is. Is that the guy? Curious. So starting a free trial is great. We have 3 paid plans. We have a pro, we have an enterprise, and we have a full agency mode. Full agency gives you everything. Plus, you can white label it and call it your own. And then on the other plans, there's 30 days free. We want you to try it. We want you to test it out and see how it works for you. We also are giving a $30 credit to everybody that signs up today. If you sign up on the Pro, Enterprise, or Full Agency, you'll get a credit for your account. Okay, so let's talk about automatic lead gen and nurturing. Now, if I walked out on the street and I said, you, and you, I'm going to sell you guys this pen. Well, how do I know if they need it? I mean, I could go ahead and just do the whole pitch, but they'll probably walk away because they're probably not my target audience. So think about the solution you can provide to solve a problem for someone out in the world, right? Though that's your target audience. And a lot of them also don't know what problem they have. They probably don't even know how much money they're wasting on all these other tools. And so by targeting new businesses, making sure that they're using their money wisely, because it's the same money they have to use to buy groceries, we want to make sure that we're using it very, very smart. So after we figure out our target, so that could be gender, age, background, title, years of experience, and some other parameter. We're then going to gather data from them, and I'm going to show you how you do that within First Contact automatically. But there's a lot of other systems that can do lead gen, like Apollo, Phantom Buster, Weeza are a couple of them. Duck Soup is another one, and all that information can get pumped in. First Contact has really good API documentation. The API is available on all plans, even the free plan. And you also will get the use of webhooks. You can have data coming in through webhooks, and there's just a ton of other applications I can integrate. So once we gather them, we need to nurture them. We need to do a little cold outreach. We need to nurture. We need to show our value and try to get them to convert. It's always the challenge, right? So the tool within First Contact actually will create a marketing report for these clients. So you can send them something for free. They get a really cool report. Here's kind of a breakdown of what it looks like. They get a great report. They get something for free, and they'll be open to probably talking to you a little bit more because you'll have something concrete. You'll be able to say, hey, I'm looking at your report for Florida Roof Bros, and you guys don't have a chat widget on your website. You're missing a huge opportunity. Younger people want quick answers. They want to be able to chat. They don't have to call somebody. They don't have to send an email and wait 2 days. They want immediate response, which I can't blame them. Everybody, we should all want that immediate response. So you can actually reach out to them and talk about their chat widget. You don't have one on your website. You're missing an opportunity because it can book appointments for you automatically. And you can have appointments booked at midnight if somebody wants to, book an appointment. So here's how the demo is going to work. I'm going to show you the prospecting tool, and then we're going to go through and have it find somebody, and it's going to go ahead and add that person into the system. I'm going to show you the workflow that's triggered, and then the cold outreach and how that works. And then we're going to wait for a reply to the message we send, and we're going to check for intent. So if it's somebody writes back and says, "Hey, leave me alone," well, that's negative. So it'll be a more negative intent, and we'll just do not disturb them. But if it's positive, like, "Hey, tell me more," then we're going to add them into another workflow, another drip campaign. The setup is real easy. It's not hard with the system. The system was built for it. So there's really only 4 easy steps. The first thing I like to do is create some custom fields so that we can keep data within the system, and then the AI can use it for personalization. So, for example, I love having a custom field called first call summary. It's multi-line custom field. Whenever we have a conversation with a client, we get their notes and we put it into that field. That way the AI can say, "Hey, I saw you guys just met last week and you talked about yada yada, and here's some other ideas." Also, the last chat summary. So if they've been chatting with us online, we can keep a copy of that. "Hey, I saw that we were chatting with you. Did you solve your problem?" Personalization is huge. I also have a field for AI subject and body. And I do that whenever it's generating messages, it saves them there first and then calls those fields to populate the message as it goes out. It's important to have some personalized data about your customers too, like, for example, their job title or the city they live in, or maybe a description of their job. Maybe they filled out a contact us form and there's a message that they sent us. You need something. So if you go buy a list or download a list or find a list of customers and it's just their name, email, and phone, you're not going to have as much luck with this. The other thing we want to do in step 3 is we create some custom tags, and you can have a million tags for a million things. For example, when a new contact's created, it gets the tag of prospect. When they purchase, the tag goes away and it becomes customer. So we can flag people. So we can flag them when they come into the workflow. They're going to get a little tag called start outreach. And then when they're done, we're going to put in a tag that says cold outreach started. And we're going to prevent anybody else from coming into the workflow if they have cold outreach started. The worst thing we can do is send somebody 20 messages. That's basically kind of the same thing. We don't want to do that. So we need a gate. And then the last thing is we set up the workflow and we monitor it. Now, you're going to see every message that comes out. It's right on the contact record. You get one picture. But at scale, it's kind of hard to see how many messages are coming out. What's the activity? So I like setting up a mailbox and doing a BCC on all those messages when I'm first starting, just to see what the pattern is, what it's looking like, that sort of thing. And so when we get into building the workflow, I'm going to walk you through that. We want to determine what the trigger is. So what needs to happen? That could be a tag. It could be a new prospect. It could be a new contact is added. And then we're going to add a widget in the workflow that's going to perform the action. And we're going to make sure that we set a tag so that we don't get accidentally complete runs. We're going to test it like crazy because it's really important. And also, we're going to monitor it. And then we're going to check the statistics and adjust and run it again. And so this is very scientific. This is not what's going to work here. This is very scientific. We want to make sure we're doing the right thing in the right way. So here's a screenshot of the workflow, and I'm going to send this deck out after. And one thing that when you notice here, kind of at the workflow level, we have the triggers at the top, and then there's the condition. And this is looking to see if they're already a customer. And if they are, it's going to kick them out because we don't want to market to our existing customers. That's just going to upset them. But then we put them into drip mode, and this sends 5 people through every minute. So if there's a problem, I can stop it. We create an opportunity on our pipeline. We're going to build a subject line. We save the subject line. We build the body. We save the body, so on and so forth. And then you're probably wondering, okay, what's the AI prompt that Nick is using? Well, this is it. I'm going to give it to you. So building the subject line, we always start with telling AI what it needs to be or what kind of expert we want it to be. Because then it positions itself. It's like you're putting the AI in the right frame of mind. Okay. You're a world class cold email expert and you're writing a subject line. So if it has any previous knowledge about that, it'll be able to pull it in. And we have to be very, very specific. And we also have to give examples. That's really important when you're working with AI. It's not a mind reader. And you don't want to tell it things like, send a nice message. No, you need to send a personalized, curious, driven, human sounding message, right? We have to be very, very specific. And then I don't know if you remember, I talked about intent. So let's say Travis, I get him in here. He's running a company called ABC Company. And he goes through the workflow. He gets our message and he's having a bad day. And he writes back and says, leave me alone. Take me off your list. The workflow is going to know that's negative automatically. And it's going to put him right into this negative stream and it's going to mark do not disturb on his record. So we don't bug him anymore. We don't want to upset people. We want to try to solve their problem. Now, this prompt is a little bit more crazy. This is building the body of the email that's going to go out. And why am I doing it in two separate things? Well, I like to do it in two separate things because I want both to have personalization in it, and I don't want it to have the same. I want it to be a little bit different. So again, who are you? And what are the rules? What are the examples that you can use? And we even do an example message here. And I'll show you some of the messages that come out. And here they are. So these are some of the messages that AI wrote. I think this first one here, I sent in a message talking about, um, how frustrated it is to just do a lot of manual work when you're trying to sell, because we need to sell, right? And this one is a generic one that went out to Dan. And I hope Dan's not on the call because I probably should have asked you if I can use this, but we sent it out to him. And it is personalized right to his company. And we talk about the problem and how he fixed it and the pain points. And then we're trying to encourage him to come to a demo. Another thing within the system, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of AI agents or bots that have been pre-programmed for you. So if you want to do this and you're running a spa, well, CRM Pros LLC down here, they have a special bot that's personally trained for those types of services. So again, personalization, customization, super huge. Okay, so let's go take a peek here at kind of how this all works behind the scenes. Let me get to the right spot. Okay. So this is first contact. I'll blow it up a little bit here too if folks want to get a better look. When you first come in, you're going to see your dashboard, which is going to have, all your information on how you run your business. It's also going to have information on getting help. We have a built-in scheduling thing. Oh, my screen is not showing. Hold on one second. I need to figure out how to do that. Schnikes. Sorry, folks. This is the first time I'm using. Oh, there we go. Okay. Everyone should be able to see that now. Okay. Thank you, Travis, for alerting me. So basically, this is the first screen when we're coming in, and we're going to go down to this marketing section. Also, here's all your AI configurations, your AI agents. So when you work with us, what we're going to do is we're going to set up your knowledge base for you so that it has all the right information about you. And this is our knowledge base. We got FAQs, we got a table of data that's loaded in. And this helps to make sure it knows you first. So we take care of this for you as kind of a free service. But let's go under marketing and let's go up to prospecting. So this is a tool I want to show you because I think this is so cool. So here's how it works. Under the prospect AI, we configure it to find certain groups of people. So, like, we need to know who that right customer is, right? And so, I want to work with marketing agencies, people that are doing business development, any internet services. Those folks, they make great customers. And then we can put in a city, state. You can also search within a radius. And then every night, it's going to go out and find people for you automatically and add them right into the system and start outreach. So it went out and found all these folks, and it also found a prospect score. So this is the AI lead scoring component or feature in the system, and it's using an algorithm to determine what is the chance that this customer could convert and become a customer. And this one's 100%. And so what that tells me is that on the report, there's probably some stuff that we can use to try to help them with their business, with marketing, with sales. So overall, they got a pretty low score. There's no business details about them out on the internet. That's not good. It's like having a store with no sign on the front. He's not using any of kind of the latest text. They don't even really have a website that's being hosted. So this one has a lot of things that we could jump into and try to help them. And here's the directory where all the names of companies should be. Here's their online reputation too. They have 3 negative reviews. There's only 1 positive. So this is definitely a company that we can help. Now, if I just want to share the report with them, I'm on the phone with them and I say, hey, I'm going to generate a report. I can do that. And then I can fill this in. It's automatically going to send them a message with a link right to the report. But that's kind of a one-way thing. That's a start and end. There's no follow-up really. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a workflow that automatically markets to these folks. And it is called the cold outreach lead generator is what we named it. We've already put through, I think, almost 2,000 people through the system. So here's the workflow. We trigger if a contact's created and it's a lead. If there's a tag that we manually say, go ahead and start outreach. If the prospect was generated, this is that report. And if the prospect conversion score is above 10%, then let's try it. Also, if they've submitted some type of form, like a lead gen form or a contact us form, we're going to trigger and get into the workflow. And just like if you've done any workflows within ServiceNow, Zapier, Make is another really popular workflow automation platform. It's pretty much the same thing. So again, we have a trigger and we have the action that happens on the data that's being triggered, that data, that audience data. And so this first thing here is also double checking to see if they're a customer, because we do not want to bug our customers, right? We want to help them grow, not try to advertise to them more. We put them into a drip, we create an opportunity, and I'll show you this opportunity and how it is in the system. And we start them off at the first stage. They're a prospect. We name it by their company name, and we give it a value. And I'm going to show you the pipeline. As it works through the pipeline, the value increases because there's a higher likelihood of them converting. Okay. And then that gives you a good dollar number so you can see kind of what you have in the pipeline. We're going to generate this is that setup we have right here for generating the subject line. Okay. And this is that prompt that I showed you. You're all going to get a copy of this prompt. And then also under advanced options, we can set the temperature, and it's typically between 2 or 0.2 and 0.8. And it tells AI how random it wants to be. So if it's a 0.2, it's going to be like, say something like, hi, Bob, we see that you might need our services. Here's some options for you. We work with customers with this type of problem. Hope to hear from you soon. If I bump it up to a 5 or a 6 or a 7, it's going to be like, hey, Bob, I see that you might be having a problem, and we've looked at your company and we see that your company is doing this type of work. And in this industry, there's some other things that are going on, right? A little bit more random. It's also more valuable. It's not as cookie cutter. But again, you want to practice. I have it at a 2 right now, and I think I slowly kind of go through and I'll make it a 3. We'll see how that works. Okay. So there's going to be an activity for all of us here. I'm going to have you all fill out our contact us form and see what kind of you get back. So it should be interesting. You can also say what model that it works with, and it works. This is all OpenAI ChatGPT on the back end, and they've just released 5, and so that's in there. If you're cost conscious, you can bump it down to the mini. And the usage charge for AI is about 1 cent per execution. So in order to run through here, since there's 2 AI components, it's 2 cents. So I'm going to pay 2 cents to try to get Bob to buy a $500 package. It's pretty good ROI. Now, I'm all about, with my IT background, I want to be very careful because bad things can happen to good people, like accidentally emailing 50,000 people. You don't want to do that. So on the contact record, I'm going to save their information in the notes section, and that is time, date, stamped. Um, and it is really important because we can see all the activity and what happened. And then remember these little fields. So we're going to write data to those fields. And then here's the email. And notice I'm blind carbon copying our support email address so I can see what's going on. And then I put in the subject from number 7. So that's there. This is number 7, generates the subject. That's where that goes. And then number 3, which is right here, and you can't change that, but the numbers, when you set it up, depending on how many you have, they might be 1, 2, 3, or 15, that sort of thing. And so that's where that subject's going to go. And then again, we save it in the notes, we update the contact, and then we can send this email out. Okay. And then we're going to remove the tag that we used to start it because we don't need that anymore. And we're going to add a tag to say that it's been completed, so we also don't allow them to come back through. Now it's going to wait up for 2 days, and then it's going to determine the intent if they reply. And if they don't reply, it's going to just throw them into our main email drip campaign. If they do, then of course I want to know their intent. If they're upset, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to bug them, right? So we get them out of the system. If they're positive, then we're going to run them through this AI. And again, this one is just doing a reply. So for the email, we'll just do an RE : and then the subject. And we go through and tell it, all sorts of things that we can have it do. And I'll share this prompt with you as well. And then this one I did bump up to an 8. I want it to be a little bit more random. And then we also have a none in case it can't figure out the intent. Okay. So let's go ahead and test this out. Now I'm going to have you go onto our website and I'll show you where, and we're going to do the contact us form. So if everybody can go to firstcontact.ai and then click on contact us right up here at the top. So firstcontact.ai is the website, and then contact us. Okay, and then go ahead and put something in here. You can make it kind of fake if you want. But do use a real email address so you can see what the output is. Okay. So I'll put in Nicholas at Core Tactic. I'll put in a phone number, and this can be pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be real. That can be fake. This can also be fake. Okay, and then how did you learn? And then I want you to write some type of message. So I put in, we're in need of marketing assistance to ensure that we're reaching the right customer at the right time. Okay, and then I'll fill in the consent, and then we go ahead and send it off. Oh, and errored because I gave it a bad phone number, a literally bad phone number. So we'll do the phone number that Hollywood uses. 555-1212. Okay. There we go. And then I always take them 2 pages, says thank you. And then I try to get them to book a demo so we can meet them and learn more about what they're doing. Now, let's go back to our workflow. And we're going to do some stuff here. Okay, look at this. So we got Matt Carlson. It looks like you put one in. It's right now building your subject line for you. This is a test. Oh, Travis put one in as well. That's just been added to the workflow. Okay, Travis, they're processing the subject. Oh, Kelly, you're coming in now. They're building your subject line. So this enrollment history shows us the people coming in or the objects that are being acted on. And then the execution log is every single thing that comes through. So, this failed. Oh, interesting. It's always, I have to laugh because on every demo, something happens, and so, Kelly, we'll figure out what that is. Okay, so it tried to do a retry and then it failed out, but it's not giving me. I have to go dig in our audit logs and I can tell you. Okay. So let's go back here and just see what's happening. Okay, so mine got, and if you're just joining us or you haven't done the test yet, you can go to firstcontact.ai. I don't know, Travis, if there's a way to chat with people, but I'm going to put the direct link here so everybody can try it. Okay, so I just put the link to our contact form in the chat. Now, go ahead and fill in this, put in the right email, and give it some type of message, and let's see how it tries to help you. Okay, so I'm going to come out here and take a peek at what we're seeing. Give me 1 second. Okay. So Matt, here's the message that you got. I wish I knew how to blow this up and make it better. I don't think there's a zoom in. But anyway, I'll read it. Hey, Matt. From what I see, painting companies like M. Carlson Painting lose jobs when leads, estimates, and scheduling sit in different systems. I mean, isn't that true for everybody, right? So manual follow-up and then the scattered notes, and it's just really hard to know kind of what that customer truly needs. And if you're delaying, it's all about immediacy, right? It's about making sure you're connecting with your customer right away. And those delays can cost you a lot of money. We don't even realize how many delays or how many leads we're actually losing or missing at some point. Okay, and then talks about a pain point, something we can help solve for Matt, and then it gives them a link to the demo. That's good. Oh, and I also had, okay, and this is another AI message. I forgot I had this on, but this is a generic one that comes out just from the contact us form. Okay, let's see here. And I see Kelly broke it. Okay, we'll have to figure out what happened here. Oh, there's Kelly's message. Okay. Yep, thank you for contacting us. Oh, here's the link. Here's a workflow that sends out the kind of automated messaging. Let's see here. Yeah. So there we go. So thanks to everybody for trying it out. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to turn off the mute so folks can talk and ask questions. If you can see the chat, I'll just do a little hi. You can certainly put questions in there too. Love questions. Okay, so jumping back in, I'm just going to do a little refresh here. So Matt, you are waiting right now for a response. And so if you want to respond back and say something either nice or not nice, we'll see what the intent does to you. I'm going to do the same thing on my side. So I'm going to take, let's see here. Try to find one of the messages that I got. Oh yeah, this one here. This one was the one I sent. Okay, so I'm going to do reply all. And I am going to say, I would love to know more. Please send me more information. And go ahead and hit send. And then let's go up to our execution logs and kind of see what happens here. Let's see what happens. I don't know why, Kelly, you have some magical powers here. We failed on you for some reason. I'll have to dig into that. Okay. And now, Matt, it should have wrote you back. It looks like, yep. It's generating the reply and it sent the email and then removed you from the workflow. Good. You got removed because you got to the end. There you go. Let's just see. Completely finished. And I can pull open your execution history so I get to see everything that you went through in the system. So this is great for troubleshooting, trying to figure out, how to make it even better, because there's always things we can do to make it better. Okay, so now I'm going to, hopefully my thing is, oh, are we done with live? Looks like I'm not sharing anymore. Okay, so it might have sent a very similar message again when it came out. So interesting. Let me share my screen again. I don't know why that stopped. Okay, I'll share that again. So I don't know why my mail, of course this is happening. Let's see here. So it looks like, Kelly, you got another message, or this might have been the first one that went out. Now, the system I set up has only been fully running for about 2 weeks. So I still have some training to do with it. And it's always kind of being monitored and tweaked and changed. But I'm just going to show you some things that you can do to trigger this workflow, okay? So it even does birthday reminders. Webhooks, of course, can come in. If a customer replied, we can be triggered. If there's a lead form on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, Reddit, that all can be pumped right into the system. We can even trigger if they have gone to a funnel or a website page. That's kind of cool. We have to know who they are first, though, so they have to be kind of authenticated, or at least the IP recognized. We have a lot of workflows for appointment. Of course, opportunities are real critical. If you're on our agency plan, you can become an affiliate and make a lot of extra money. 40% of everything that your customers pay goes right to you. So affiliates are great. The system also has an online course room. So let's say you want to set up a course and you want to resell that course for additional revenue. You can integrate that right into a workflow. So if they signed up, it can then trigger something for them. Payments, of course, subscriptions, all that kind of stuff. The system integrates very nicely with Shopify. You can also set up an IVR for your phone system. There's phone numbers you can purchase for like $1.15 a month, $1.15 a month. There's a private community. You can have certificates also if you're doing any training. People can get certificates. And then there's a ton of apps that are out here that can be brought in. So like even WooCommerce, if you're using that, Shippo for doing some ship stuff, Trello, there's tons of integrations. I think the last I saw there were over 1,200 just applications itself. But then when we connect it also into Zapier, you get about 7,000 more. So very powerful. I'm going to come out. Let's go ahead and hit save. I'm going to come out, and then at the last bit here, because I do want to save some time for questions, and I hope we can get some questions. I don't know. Maybe Travis, you might know how to unmute. Maybe you can see if you can figure that out, and then maybe come and help me with that here. But under opportunities, this is where everybody goes when they first come into the system. And I'm gonna just switch to our customer journey. This is our main opportunity. So when a customer comes in, they're a prospect, and then we move them to this check data because I want to know if we're missing something. So this one has the email and the phone, so that's good. But if it was missing something, it would then move it automatically to needs enrichment, which sends it out to drop contact to try to find the right phone number and email. And then it moves it over to lead, and that's when it starts to nurture. So this is your conveyor belt. Okay. And then I know who then my active people are. If they decide to cancel their subscription, they'll go to inactive. If I was working with them, like this best coaching company, and I couldn't get them to convert, couldn't get them to convert. They didn't really need my product. It also can keep track of the reviews. So if this customer, if they're finished, maybe they're active, I let them sit active for a week and then I'll move them to review request. And then when we receive it, we'll know and it puts them here. So I can know exactly what customers I should ask reviews of, and where everybody's at in the process. Okay, so now let's see if I can figure out our lovely system here. I'm going to stop. Okay, there's end stream. So sorry, folks. This is the first time I've used this, and I made a poor assumption that it was going to be just super, super easy. And I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Can you actually see the chat messages? Let me know if you can see the chat. If anybody's there, I can't see you or hear you, but if you want to put in a message, we can chat. Oh, there's Matt. Hey, Matt. Matt, do you have any questions? Give me a hard one. I'm real passionate about this system because I set our company up on it, and it took a couple months because I did it from scratch. I did it without directions. I did it without training. Um, oh, Matt, you're delegating to Kelly. Okay. Okay, Kelly, you broke the system. Now, do you have a good question? Uh-oh, Kelly's thinking, or she hung up and she's mad at Matt now. That's probably what happened. Oh, she's still thinking. Okay. Well, if there's no questions, that's totally cool. I'm gonna send a copy of the deck out to everybody. And oh, is she always mad at you? I'm sorry. If you're here, I give you a hug. I know what that's like. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Um, okay, so we'll send out the